Hey everybody, Dr. Hal Stewart here. I'm with my wonderful friend and incredible dental hygienist, and she's so much more. She's Landis. She has broad knowledge in just overall whole body health and wellness, spiritual and emotional wellness. And I would like her to talk with you just a little bit today. That we're going to do. This is going to be a two-part mini series. A couple minutes today in part one, and then we'll do part two next time. But Landis, tell us how our emotions, how that affects our physical health.
So cognitive neuroscientist, Dr. Caroline Leaf, she estimates that between 75 and 92% of what manifests in our physical body as illness is actually rooted in emotions. That's a lot. So there are so many things that we can do. You know, we've been told numerous times that stress, everything got labeled as stress. What would that be? Probably 90s that suddenly stress became a big important thing in that world. And it's because they were categorizing all emotions all together. So what really we could say is negative stress. Anything that is negative, whether like we're in this area right now, Dr. Stewart, with everybody's worried about the economy. They're worried about how they're going to pay their bills. They're worried about, what are their kids going to do as far as school are concerned. How about those stay-at-home moms that are at home, that are homeschooling now, that never had any intention of homeschooling? Maybe they're trying to maintain a job while working at home. All of that takes a very much a negative effect on the body, because we start carrying those things around, and they actually will become stored in different places all over our body. And so you may have a physical manifestation of something that happens, and you think, oh, I must have slept wrong. My back and my shoulders are bothering me, or my neck is bothering me, or my lower back is bothering me. I must have slept wrong, or I didn't sleep well. That could actually be the place where that emotion is physically stored. And even though as a physician, you can't go in and, cut the body open and look and say, okay, oh, right here, there's liver. This liver has got anger. And that's the reason why all the liver enzymes are out of whack. There's actually, they carry mass and they carry energy. They carry a frequency. That's how, I just lost the name of it. That's how an MRI works. It's reading the frequency. So even though we can't physically see it, we see the effect of it. So it's important that we unload all of that stress and all of those cares so that our bodies can perform exactly the way that they're designed to perform.
That's excellent. I read back in the 70s, it might have been the 60s, there was a study where they took neuron samples out of people's bodies. They kept them alive, and they took these samples across miles and miles away. Then they had the subjects watch like a scary movie, and they monitored the electrical energy in those neurons, 10 miles away. And at the same exact instance, there would be something that would startle the subject or get them excited. Those neurons would react, and that energy was carried through the universe, so to speak, and parts of their body were 10 miles away and still reacting. That's where emotion comes into this. That's a big part of it. I know this is going a little bit longer than we normally do, but everybody hears about the fight or flight mentality. That's if you're walking through the woods and a bear attacks you, you quit thinking about what you're going to have for supper that night. Your only thought process is to get out of there and run away. And that's the fight or flight. That's the sympathetic nervous system taking over and creating an adrenaline rush. But we also create a heavy load of cortisol gets flushed into our system. Cortisol is an inflammatory chemical, but it's there for a reason. When we're in a state of stress and we don't handle the stress like we're supposed to, And stress in and of itself there's nothing really wrong with stress. It's the way we deal with it. But if we don't deal with it right, we constantly live in a state of fight or flight, and our bodies get inundated with cortisol. We stay in a constant state of inflammation. When you're got a lot of cortisol running through your body, it is almost impossible to lose weight. As a matter of fact, everything you eat is going to tend to put on weight more than it would if you were controlling that cortisol. So that's another way emotional response affects our physical health. Anything you want to add to that?
No, it's excellent. You know, the reason why it packs on the weight and doesn't let go of the weight is because in case you have to run again, it wants to have that energy stored. So that's the reason why it works that way.
Yeah. Why don't we pick this up in our next broadcast and maybe get into this a little bit further.
Sounds good.
All right, everybody, thank you for listening. I hope you learned something, and we're here for your health and your wellness, both physically and spiritually and emotionally. You guys take care.